Welcome back, traders. Second portion of our show, Market Movers, and we just don't have a whole heck of a lot going on this morning there, Dennis, but we found a few things of interest. Where should we start?
Well, interesting is GLD is trading up here, so we've got the gold trading up 156.21, and we've got the SLV trading down 28.32. It's always interesting when you see the precious metals going in opposite directions this morning. I'm trying to just look at Friday's action, see if there's a reason for that, but maybe Joel can do a technical, and I'll try to look a little bit further and see what the reason is for this.
Well, yeah, Dennis, and this is kind of goes with our theme from the end of last week. Is gold really broke down, and it was able to take out its October low, late September low, 17 on September 26th. It took out the 154.19, and then it went down and it double bottomed here, Dennis. And that's for you swing traders that are looking to catch the next move here in the GL day. Great level, 151.71 to 152.05. Those were the lows from Wednesdays and Thursdays. If you either want to wait for a test of that level again to try along, or perhaps be long here without a stop. Conversely, the silver never did get to that low, so now silver is just kind of continuing, but still, this silver, you got to keep an eye on this 27.41 level. That was the low, the corresponding low on that September 26th, which has not been taken out. It's hard, Dennis. I know we had talked a little bit about being bullish gold and silver last week, and we got our hat handed to us. And then reading Barron's and leading things over the weekend, you get the hyperinflation scenarios and whatnot. Just from a technical standpoint here, we are at the bottom of some pretty good trading ranges. So this may be a time to look at the precious metals.
Yeah, we definitely are coming into support on some of these things. Like, I know we've taken it out of the support a little bit here, but longer term, if you're an investor here, maybe these levels get a little bit more attractive, because going forward, you got gold, silver, you got commodities here where, you got currencies over the place as they continue to print money. So you almost think, if you're like a Peter Schiff fan, you almost think like he's got a pretty good argument where eventually these things could trade more like currency than they have been, over the last few years here. So, if they ever got a currency valuation to them, they could go a lot higher. But silver's, that's scary too, because we've had a heck of a run in the last few years. So overall, if I'm an investor looking 10 to 20 years out, maybe you think, gold, silver, not a bad spot to pick it up here. But, if you're an investor for the next few weeks, really hard to say. The charts are broken here. But, when everybody gets bearish, though, on CNBC, which they kind of are now on the precious metals, it starts to make me bullish. So that's my overall take on the GLD SLV. I think you could see them move lower still in the short run, but long run, I think the trend's still your friend. I think it still goes higher. Moving on, though, Joel, it's not a fundamental show, so we'll keep moving on with the technical movers for today. Las Vegas Sands, LVS, trading up 42.96 after closing at 41.53. Emulex was in a patent infringement case with them, or actually, I'm sorry, Las Vegas Sands, actually, this is the China regulator. I'm starting to get confused. It was BRCM and Emulex. But anyways, Las Vegas Sands, I'm sleeping here on Monday mornings. Las Vegas Sands, they were getting investigated by the Hong Kong regulators over there. They just now any action against them, so whatever investigation they were looking into, I guess LVS looked clean over there. So that's given the stock a pretty good pop here this morning, Joel.
Okay, looking at the upside, this 43.5 to 43.68 level should really be interesting. You hit those levels last week on on Monday and Tuesday. They stood as the weekly highs. So if this rally continues, expect some first resistance at the 53.60 area. Looking how this thing trades in the pre-market, you did get a high at the 43.24 level, so it's starting to inch up there. Just observing some of these casino stocks, and this stock in particular, a lot of times when it starts out up, it ends up. It keeps going. It's not looking for a big reversal. But if you did get a reversal in this stock and got anywhere near that yesterday's high at 42.20, might be a good place to bring in some shorts or try an initial long.
ZMH, which is Zimmer Holdings, the medical equipment maker, is announced just a couple of minutes ago. They announced a stock buyback, and they're initiating a dividend. I didn't see the amount of the dividend, but I don't think it paid any dividend before, so they're starting a dividend program, doing a stock buyback, so that makes shareholders always happy. The stock actually hasn't traded yet, but it's bid up. So it's 47.52 closes, bid up 48.61 right now. So it's bid up over $1.10 from the close. Best offer's up at 49.75. So it looks like it's going to open up somewhere between 48.5 and 49.5, which is going to be a stronger open for that stock, Joel. What do you think of ZMH from a technical perspective?
Well, this might be if you look, the stock's taken a haircut quite a much since the end of September here, coming down 58. So this might not be a bad level to start a stock buyback. I'd like to see what happens at this 48.85 to 48.94 level. That was the highs from Monday and Tuesday. If it gets above that, I'm looking at a test of the 49.48, which was the high from the last Friday. Coming back on the downside, Dennis, downside now that it's potentially going to trade up. We're opening up right near Thursdays and Fridays highs, which normally if you open up to that level would be a nice way to play a breakout. But a lot of times on these stock buybacks, you get a little giddiness early and then, things just kind of settle back in. But use that 48.5 as a swing number and look for early resistance at 49.
I got Trius Therapeutics, which is TSRX. So Tom, Simon, Roger, X-Ray. Right now, Trius reports positive results from phase 3 trial of Tedzolid. So basically they got a drug looking good in the phase 3 trial. Stock is trading up at $7.55 right now after closing at $6.83. So it's up over 10%. I'm looking at this chart, Joel. $8 looks huge to me. I don't know if that's where the stock wants to go. It's always when you get the fundamentals in there, it kind of plays with the technicals a lot. But if you're just playing it from a purely technical perspective, we topped out there right around $8 earlier this month. We topped out there in November at $8. So something's going on at $8, Joel.
Yeah, and then also on the downside, this thing has been really capped just below the $7 level. You had 7 lows between $6.70 and that $7 level. So someone might have been anticipating some good news. Once again, folks, you got a stock here, trade by appointment only. Traded 111,000 on Friday, so don't think you want to be putting on huge lots in here as it can move. But Dennis, you're right, double top there at the $8. So if in fact this news is as good as advertised, you should test that $8 level. And then just look at the monthlies. You get through there, there's really not much up until the $9 level. But as we discussed, with these biotech firms, it's hit or miss. There's the drug trials are good or the drug trials are bad. It really seems like we've been having a lot of those lately. A lot of the trials come to fruition at the end of the year or something. But it seems like almost every day we're talking about one of these biotech companies.
Yeah, there's been a lot of, I don't know if it's seasonal or not, Joe, but you're right. We have been talking about a lot of drugs companies here lately. I know Eli Lilly's been talking. They've got one good one that's been on the horizon too, which has been moving it up. Winn-Dixie getting bought out for $9.50 a share, Joel, WINN. I think that's a private takeover, actually, just crossing right now. So, but the stock's popped up straight $9.34 right now after closing at $5.43. So $9.50 looks like a cash takeout for Winn-Dixie, Joel. That'll make shareholders happy over there.
Yeah, I don't know. Not too happy the shareholders have bought it at $13 at the end of September. But, with these, I've looked at these grocery store stocks for a long time and thought fundamentally, people got to eat. And, I think what's happened to these big chains and stuff is they've just been cannibalized by, the Walmarts and the Costco's and the Myers and stuff. And their margins are just so low. It's just hard for them to to make a lot of money. I'm just looking at the old favorite Kroger here. Maybe you get a little sympathetic pop with that. Kroger has a major top here at 24.17. So see if there's a little sympathy rally with the Krogers.
Even Safeway, you could say SWY would be another one that could possibly get a sympathy move with that Winn-Dixie buyout, WINN. But Joel, that's all I really got for you today. There's a couple other movers on there on the show. Well, we can talk quickly CMC if you want to. Commercial Metals just announced guidance here this morning as well, and that stock is trading relatively flat. 14.10 right now after closing at 14.04. Maybe do a quick one on that one, and then we'll wrap it up. CMC, Joel.
Okay, there was a big gap up there. I think that's when was that when Icon made some kind of offer for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly it. That was the Icon gap.
Yeah, the Icon pop. So, you got a slippery slope under this 1370 level. We all know what happened to, his Clorox bid. So get below this 1370, I wouldn't want to own it. Coming back on the upside, you have some mild stopping points here at 1440, but the major resistance stands at 1476. So, okay, Dennis, Spoos are practically in the same spot when we started our first show. So, look for resistance at that Globex high. If we can't bust through there with any kind of speed, look us to come back and trade mid-range, during this holiday trading. So that's a wrap on the show for today, folks. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning.